are you feeling today? Do you feel fulfilled in life? The show will begin in 4 minutes. Are you ready? When was the last time you felt betrayed? When was the last time you felt loved? The show will begin in 3 minutes. Are you ready? What did it feel like to be in love? What is the most painful part of being in love? The show will begin in 2 minutes. Are you ready? Are you ready to be transformed? Are you ready to make a change? The show will begin in 1 minute. I hope you're ready. The show will begin in exactly 30 seconds. Get ready. Have you ever wondered how a man knows that you're the one? Like, what exactly is going through his mind to even allow him to come to that realization and determine that that is the decision? The answer might surprise you because it has nothing to do with how you look, which is why on today's show, we're going to be discussing how men know she's the one. That way you can step into a man's mind and finally understand exactly what will make him fall in love with you. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so that I know you're here present and actively participating. Welcome all you beautiful people. How you guys doing today? It's so good to see you and be with you and spend this time with you. I love being around you guys at all times of the day. So it's always special for me. Okay. Welcome in the TikTok chat. We got Brooke, we got Scotty, Morelli, Lilo, like Lilo and Stitch. We got Chan, Dragonfly, Alex, SH is here. Minnie is here. Sabine is here. Okay, I like that name. Lisa is here. Welcome all you beautiful people in the TikTok chat. Who we got in the YouTube chat? I see Ivy, our beautiful channel member, is here. Tracy is here. Eva is here. Trini is here. The Soulful Sanctuary. Okay, I like that. I like that name. Welcome. I see we got Irene here, Fash here, Noon here. Who else we got here? Nadia here. Joy here. I see a Maria here. Welcome all you beautiful people. And of course, we got the most amazing Missy America holding us down in the YouTube chat as our moderator. How are you all doing? We got lots to talk about today. Very exciting today. Lots of new segments today. Things have been fixed. There will be less technical difficulties today. So we're going to have a great show today. I'm very happy about today. Let's get started. And first things first in order, okay? So number one is going to be authenticity. See, here's the thing. When the men you're dating, see, the thing is, everyone likes to pretend like they're being their real selves and their real authentic selves. But what's going to happen is a lot of times guys are going to massage and manipulate their personality for whatever best suits or serves you. Why are they going to do that? Because there are a lot of men that will come across you in your life that are there in your life because they want something from you. And they know that you can serve them in particular ways because of what they want from you at that moment. And in order to get what they want from you at that moment, they're going to make sure that they're hyperfixated on being what you need at that moment. So I say all that to say, when a man knows you're the one, truthfully, and he actually wants to spend the rest of his life with you, he will identify that he doesn't have to be anyone else except for himself, which is a good thing. It's a great thing. And this is why, one of the reasons why I always tell you guys to be asking a lot of questions. And I know you guys hate hearing the idea of me saying, oh, you should be a man's therapist and things like that, because you're like, I'm not raising no man. When I say be a guy's therapist and to ask a lot of questions and to get to know him better, see, the thing about it is, a lot of guys in relationships and in dating, they don't really feel seen or heard, because their feelings usually always has to take a backseat to a woman's feelings, which is fine. But at the end of the day, when someone seems to finally show interest in them and they feel comfortable enough in being their true selves, and I mean being their true selves, sharing with you things that they never thought they would share with anyone in their entire life, that is when a man says to himself, wow, I can actually be me with her. And you have to understand, everything when it comes to a relationship, even especially for guys, is it's not about the looks as much as it's about the emotional, and understanding that, hey, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this person. So you need to be thinking in your mind, right? If a guy is thinking, hey, I want to spend the rest of my life with you, he has to be able to say to himself, like, I can be me around the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with. Right? Because if he doesn't feel like he can be his true self or his authentic self, then that's going to be an issue. Okay, so you really want to be understanding whether the guy that you're with even feels like he can be his real authentic self. And see, guys are going to really, as weird as it sounds, they're going to fight against being their true authentic self because they're so used to, and I know this sounds weird because we're talking about men, but men also are so used to putting up a wall and a front that, hey, I'm a man, so I'm not supposed to have feelings and emotions. I'm a man, so I'm not supposed to cry. I'm a man, so I'm not supposed to get upset or I'm not supposed to be sad. I'm only supposed to feel anger. Grr, I big strong man like gorilla. I take over the village and ravage the village and take all the women and the food and the deer, right? They're thinking in their mind, I have to put walls up so people don't see the real me. But the reality of it is the only woman he ends up thinking is the one that he actually wants to spend the rest of his life with is the one that he feels he actually sees the real him. Okay? And I want you to understand this isn't something that you're easily going to get out of guys, which is why this is so special to guys when they can feel like they can be that version of themselves with you, because they're not going to give that up easily. When I say give that up easily, I mean like information about who they really are, what they've really been through, and how it's really affected them, information about their childhood, information. I always tell you guys information is key, right? All of these stories and honest perspective of who they've been, where they've been, what their life has been like. All of those things is what makes him who he really is. But a lot of those stories, especially the ones that are really sensitive and really close to his heart, and in some cases really traumatic, are the stories that he wants to shy away from, that he doesn't want to tell people, that he doesn't want to be honest about. But the reality of it is that one girl that finally is able to get that out of him is the girl that he's going to feel like he can actually be himself. Part of the reason, and I know this sounds a little bit strange when I say it, and I know some of you guys get weirded out that are on the younger side. This is for the older, mature audience. If you're on the younger side, please plug your ears for this part. This is why I tell some of you, all of you actually, that you guys should be, when you're talking to guys and getting to know them better, you should be very aware of what their deeper, darker KINKSs are. Are you following me? Do we follow each other? Okay? Not that you need to be having dirty talk, but you need to not only, in the process of learning him, understand what those KINKSs are, but you need to understand the root of why those are the way that they are. And I know this sounds like, Tomisin, I thought you said you don't want us to jump in, getting jackrabbit. And I thought you said you don't want us to be easy on the first date. I'm not saying sleep with him. I'm saying try to understand him. Because there even is something to be understood about the human being that you're with through their KINKSs. Okay, for you younger crowd, I told you plug your ears, you're not going to get it. For you older crowd, I want you paying attention because this is also information. And this is actually a really, as weird as it sounds, this is one of the really good ways to make a guy feel comfortable being who he really is. See, one thing that might shock you about guys, and especially guys when it comes to intimacy. You might be thinking, oh, all guys are only imagining intimacy as it relates to jackrabbiting himself inside of me for 90 seconds or less. That's all he wants, nothing more, nothing less. What you don't realize is there's a whole nother side to intimacy for men that's based on their mental, emotional, and spiritual experiences and who they are, and it's like a fingerprint to them. Meaning that the things that interest them will stem from their childhood, stem from the things that they've been through, and a lot of times, I know it sounds strange, a lot of times when you're discovering some of those KINKSs of these guys, you're going to realize that they're linked to some sort of either trauma, some sort of just childhood experience, or just some weird, interesting thing about him that he likes that he feels nervous to confess to someone, even someone that he's romantic with. And I'm telling you, this, along with asking good questions about his overall experiences as it relates to non-actual things, will give you a really good inside peek, a peephole into the real him. And it'll also, as he continues to share more and more of this types of deep, darker information with you, it'll make it more comfortable for him to feel like he can be his real, authentic self with you. I know it sounds weird, But I need you to understand, even when it comes to intimacy and jackrabbing himself inside of you, for men even, there is so much more to it than just dirty talk. Oh, I want to penetrate you. Oh, don't you want to get penetrated? You're soaked up. I want to penetrate you. There's more than that. Okay. And I know that when I say authenticity, your mind doesn't initially go to, the physical intimacy, but I want you to understand this is part of the authenticity that men feel emotionally, that they can be their real selves and share with you who they really are and how they really feel about things. Okay. And I'm not just talking about how they really feel about you. I'm talking about how they really feel about their life, the things that really upset them, the things that make them sad. All of these things are things that a lot of guys are scared to communicate, scared to address, and suppress within even themselves. So when you have the ability to bring that out of him, he feels so much more at home and comfortable with you that it becomes that much harder to replace you. Remember, the topic of today's discussion is how he knows that you're the one, not the two, not the three, and not the just like any other girl he can meet. So a function of you being the one is him feeling like he can't get what he gets from you with anyone else. See, he can jackrabbit himself inside of any girl. What he can't do is feel like he can share the things that are embarrassing to him or he feels like people would judge him for, whether it be intimacy related or non-intimacy related, because he will rarely feel the level of comfortability and not being judged by someone to be able to actually be honest about that and honest about how he feels and to be honest about being sad about things, to be honest about feeling hurt or feeling betrayed by people or feeling betrayed by family members or his dad or his mom or his siblings or whatever the case may be. You'll be so shocked about how much men are suppressing within them when you start getting good at asking questions and digging deeper and getting to the root of issues and the ways that they think. You'll be shocked at how much they hold in, and even the men that you spend your time with will be shocked about how much they hold in when you become really good at this. So let's think of it less as being a therapist and more at being a police inspector who's really good at getting people to tell them the truth without them even realizing it. You're more like Wonder Woman than you are a therapist. Why? Because Wonder Woman has the lasso of truth. And when Wonder Woman throws the lasso of truth around someone, it forces them to just start blabbering true statements, right? And all the things that are on their mind that they've been suppressing and that they would never tell anyone when the lasso of truth is wrapped around them. So you're the same way. You're like Wonder Woman and you possess the lasso of truth. So you get good at meeting guys and getting them to spill their guts. One, it helps you better understand them, but also it makes them feel so much closer to you and it makes you feel somewhat like someone who is so much less replaceable in their life, because where else are they going to recreate that or get that from someone else? Okay. The alien princess says, is that why my guy said to me he knows how rare it is to find a good sex and a good brain? 100%. I never want you guys to get confused with the idea that because men are physical beings, that all they think about all day is just jackrabbiting themselves inside of you, and that's the only way they ever even enjoy intimacy. There's a lot more even to intimacy for men than just jackrabbiting themselves inside of you, right? And when you can unlock the mental part of it and the emotional part of it, first of all, you don't even have to sleep with him to unlock those parts and to discover those parts of him. You'll discover so much more about him, and he'll feel so much more bonded and closer to you because of that. Okay. Like I said, that doesn't mean you jump right into sleeping with the guy on the first date because you're saying Tomisin told me to talk more about intimacy and to dig deeper into that. I'm not talking about dirty talk. All right. I'm talking about actually understanding the person and why the things that they enjoy intimacy wise, or even if it's not necessarily directly intimacy related, why they enjoy those things, what their experiences have been, and what the root of that enjoyment stems from. I know it sounds weird. Like I said, for you younger people, just plug your ears, forget what I said. You don't even need to be knowing about all that stuff yet. For you older people, more mature audience of mine, you guys get exactly what I'm saying, okay? Maybe I should start just chugging water right before the show, because I'm always like, as soon as the show starts, I'll be like thirsty. I'll be yapping on this show. Okay. Arpita says, didn't allow him to get really physically close until it's official. He became more obsessed. That's great. And that's exactly what I want you guys to do. And I don't want you guys to forget that, even though I'm talking about authenticity and I'm talking about how guys feel more authentic, sharing with you their, KINKSs and, the things that are actually on their mind and the things that they actually think about, right? Whether it be pineapple related or non-pineapple related. Okay. Someone said, where's the picture at? Don't worry, I'll bring the picture back maybe tomorrow. All right. Does that make sense? So authenticity, number one. Number two is the aspect of a guy being intentional with you while being patient with you. Now, I know these things kind of don't seem like they go hand in hand, because intentional feels like it's pushing you forward, but patient feels like you're okay with where things are. So what I mean by being intentional while being patient, what you need to understand is guys, when they recognize that you're the one, they know that they want to build with you. Okay. Now, I didn't say that they automatically, by the snap of a finger, are like, oh my God, I want to, marry you and I want to have a baby with you and I want, us to live together happily ever after. And the moment I laid my eyes on you, everything changed in my life and I saw sparkles and waterfalls and rainbows and butterflies. That's not what I'm saying. That's love bombing. That's not what I'm discussing. What I'm discussing is when a guy meets you and as he's learning you, he's like, oh no, you're the girl I really want and you're the girl I've really been looking for. He becomes very intentional about your relationship. And when I say intentional, what I mean is he says to himself, okay, I'm here for a reason. And that reason is to build with her, get to know her more, learn her, develop our connection, develop our relationship so that eventually we can be in a serious long-term relationship. He has a clear destination where he wants to go and a pathway to get there. We got to date each other. We got to learn more about each other. We got to meet each other's family, meet each other's friends. I want to go down. I want to get to this destination of being in a long-term serious relationship with her. In order to get to that destination, we have to follow a particular path. That's what it is being intentional for guys. Now, on the other flip side, while being intentional with you, that's also going to mean that he's going to be pushing the relationship forward. Why is he pushing the relationship forward? Because he wants this to end up in the destination that I just discussed, right? And you guys being in a serious long-term relationship. And so because he wants that and because he's pushing this forward, right, you're going to be the one that is either comfortable with the pace or in some cases you might be uncomfortable with the pace. Now, guys are always gauging how you feel about how they're interacting with you and the pace that the relationship is going at to understand if this is something you're comfortable with, if things should continue escalating or if things are moving a little bit too fast. But here's the thing. See, when a guy knows that you're the one, he can be intentional with you, meaning pushing the relationship forward, but also be patient with you in the ways and the aspects of your relationship that you just need to pace yourself in, that you don't want to rush through. Are you following me? Because you have to understand, he's an individual with his own set of perspective and experiences, and he might really want you and want to build with you. But you're also an individual with your own set of experiences and perspective, and you're also a woman, meaning when he comes to you because he wants you and wants to be with you, it is you that's going to end up receiving him. You also need to do the job of vetting him and making sure he is the person that he says he is. So a lot of times it best serves you to be patient and pace the relationship so that you can ensure that he's here for the right reasons and you guys are both coming to an understanding of what you want in the relationship and what it's supposed to be. But a guy who actually wants to be with you for real and is serious about building with you will be more than happy to be patient with you while you allow the relationship to be at the pace that you're also comfortable with. Okay, so that's why I say when a guy recognizes within himself that you're the one, he knows that while he wants to be intentional with you, he is very glad to be patient with you in the ways that requires patience because he can't speed things along. See, here's the thing. When a guy recognizes that he really is here for the long term, it doesn't affect his psyche when you tell him you're not ready for something right now. You see, logically, guys will try to get you to make you feel real anxious and uncomfortable whenever you tell them that you're not ready for something right now. But that really only stems from the fact that when guys are trying to rush through things so they can get to somewhere quickly, meaning get to inside of you very quickly, they're very frustrated whenever you say things like, this is moving too fast, or you say things like, I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable, or I'm a little bit unsure. They don't like that. They don't like that. They want to get to the sale before you even realize that you're making a bad purchase. So because they want to get to that sale very quickly, like just said, they become persistent and they start pushing and pushing and pushing, or you begin to see the frustration on their face or in their personality whenever you say, hey, let's just pace ourselves a little bit. But when a guy knows that you're the one, he truly has no problem pacing himself with you. That doesn't mean he's not intentional about you and about the relationship. And see, that's why I wanted to explain this point in depth, because I knew that when I say intentional, but I also say patient, some of you would be like, but those aren't the same thing, Tomisin. But in reality, when a guy knows you're the one, he can actually do both. He can still be intentional about you and the destination he wants to go with you and how he wants to get there with you, while simultaneously being patient in getting to that destination in ways and in aspects in your relationship that you might not yet be ready for. Okay? Because you're not meant to be ready for everything as soon as he's ready for it. You're a whole individual and you have your own perspective and ways of thinking, which is perfectly fine. Okay? And guys feel it within themselves because they know when they're here for the right reasons, and they know when they're here to be intentional with you and to build with you, which is why they have no issue when you tell them you need some time, when you tell them, you want to think about some stuff, when you tell them you want to, work on some stuff first before you move forward into this next phase. Okay. Guys who are trying to rush through things, they're the ones that are frustrated with that. Guys who don't have a problem pacing themselves with you and are good being patient with you, they're absolutely okay with it. Why? Because they're going to be here for the long haul. If a guy's going to be here for the long haul, why would he have a problem being patient with you? If you're not ready for something right now, but you'll be ready for it in the future at some point, well, I'll planning to be here in the future, so that's perfectly fine. If someone told you, hey, all you got to do to get this $10 million is wait a couple of years to get this $10 million, but I can guarantee you get this $10 million, you have no problem waiting to get your $10 million, right? The only time you might be frustrated is if you're about to do something in the next couple of years that you won't be able to wait around and wait for this $10 million. I know that was not a very good, well-explained analogy, but you get my point. Okay, guys who are here for the long haul have no problem being patient with you. Guys who are here to rush you, they have a problem with that. And when a guy knows he's the one, he's the one. When a guy knows you're the one, he is very more than okay being patient with you while still being intentional with you. Okay, does that make sense? Sandy says patience is everything. Okay, it is. It really is. It really is. Don't you worry. Guys who really want you, they'll be fine being patient with you. Okay. Fanny says, what if you want him to pick up the pace because we ain't not going to be fertile forever? Well, that's a whole different story, because if you want a guy to pick up the pace and he's not being intentional with you at all, then that probably stems from a lack of interest rather than it stemming from, enough interest to actually be intentional. Because remember, there's a balance there. He should still be intentional without being forceful, but he shouldn't be so patient and so chilled and laid back that he's not progressing anything forward. I also want you as women to understand things are not meant to happen like a Disney princess story, okay? So some of you are getting fooled with the idea that love at first sight, because you see it in your teen dramas and your Disney princess stories, that's what your version of a relationship should be. That a guy should meet you one time, and when it actually is supposed to be the real relationship you're gonna be in, he's supposed to know in the first 5 minutes and want to marry you in the first 5 minutes. That's not a natural way for people to progress their feelings. That's unnatural, okay? Don't let any movie or teen drama convince you that that's a natural escalation of feelings to fall in love with someone in 5 minutes. That's not natural, Okay. And so don't be so impatient yourself that you're feeling like if it doesn't happen in the first 5 minutes and he doesn't tell me he loves me in the first 2 minutes, that this is nothing. Don't be so impatient that you're trying to get things to happen in 30 seconds. That's not a natural transition or building of things as well. There's always a balance there. Okay. So authenticity was number one. Number two is being intentional while being patient, right? And number three is he thinks of more than himself. Okay. Now, I really want to touch on this because this is actually such a magical thing for men when they transition into, living for themselves and about what they want and what they care about, to like actually transitioning to being more selfless, egoless, and living for more than just him. The reason I say it's so magical is because guys can also recognize within themselves when they're beginning to live for more than just themselves. And the reason that guys are able to recognize that is because that becomes an internal motivator to push them to do more and be more because of who they have in their corner or because of what they're quote unquote living for. You ever hear in movies, I know you guys love movies and teen dramas and things like that. You ever hear guys in movies say things like, oh, I got to get through this, guys, because tonight I'm getting home to my wife and kids. I'm going back home to my wife and children no matter what, boys. So we gonna get through this together, right? You ever hear that line in movies that I'm going home to my wife and kids? It's because when men recognize that you're the one, they recognize that there becomes a transitioning period where now there is more to live for than just me. And the fact that there's more to live for than just me motivates me to keep going on a daily basis. In fact, it motivates me so much I can achieve more for myself because it's not just for me. It's actually for me and my wife, or me and my wife and children. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why it becomes such a magical time in guys' life, because they become motivated, and we'll talk about inspiration a little bit. They become motivated and inspired to do so much more with themselves and their life because of that internal motivation they now have within them. Okay, so when a guy that can recognize that he's now living for more than himself, it is such a powerful realization for him to know that there is more to this life than just me, and there is more meaning and purpose to my life than just me. In a weird, strange way, I know it sounds weird, but when a good woman comes into his life and he recognizes that he wants that woman and wants to build with her, she becomes part of his purpose. Right? I know we talk about purpose and direction a lot in this show, and that you should be looking for guys with direction when you're dating them. And when you actually merge and you actually become the one, his person that he's looking for, you now become part of his purpose. He wants to serve you. He wants to make you happy. The reason that he works hard is to make you happy and so that you can have a good life. The reason that he, goes through pain and struggle and all the things that he has to endure in order to be the man that you need and to make your life good, you're why he does it. And you become subsequently his purpose, right? And so it's very beautiful, very magical, and guys can feel that changing within them. And because when it changes within them, they start to act differently. They start to go about their life differently. They start to approach their career differently. Everything starts to feel like it has more meaning and it matters more, right? It's such a powerful thing for men to feel like they're waking up every day and like what they do matters because they're doing it for someone or something. Right? Not just waking up. See, one of the easiest things to do in life, as a man especially, I'll speak for the men, is for us to wake up and do nothing with our lives because we have nobody to be accountable to. It's a people thing, to be honest. But it's so easy to be lazy and to get nothing done and, just make nothing of yourself when you have no one to be accountable to and you have no one relying on you or pushing you or motivating you. When you have someone that you feel like is helping to make your life purposeful, You wake up every day feeling like if I don't feel like doing it, even if it's hard for me, even if it's a struggle for me, life is about more than just me and what I want. Life is also about what she needs, what she wants. Remember, they always have the saying, happy wife, happy life, right? Then guys didn't make that up for no reason. It's because when guys recognize that they're living for more than just themselves, they become much more selfless and realize that my happiness is not just my happiness. In fact, my happiness is directly tied to my woman's happiness. So if I want true happiness in life, I need to figure out what brings my woman true happiness and how I can serve her in ways that brings her true happiness. Okay, does that make sense? Nikki says, my grandpa didn't care how tired he was. My grandma got his first and his last. He had pride in her, 100%. And that is precisely how guys will move when they know that you're the one. They take pride in serving you. And I know when I say serving, some of you guys think, what, on his hands and knees? He's got a silver platter? No, when I say serving, what I mean is doing things for you and going about his life with the purpose of knowing that he is trying to make you happy, trying to give you a good life. He wants your life to be better because he's in it. Because that's how much he cares for you and about you. It's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. Okay. And the reason we're talking about this too as well is because I remember yesterday in the show, SH was like, we want to know some good positive things of what men think positively when they want to be with us and things to look for. So that's why we're discussing this today. Okay. I like to balance it out. We talk about what not to look for and also what to look for. I seen someone earlier say the face paint parlor said they don't make them like that anymore. They do exist. But I'll be honest with you, they don't usually, I can never say never, but they don't usually exist in the places that a lot of us would be spending our time. So like dating apps is probably not the place where the guys who are the most intentional and trying to build the most serious relationships exist, unfortunately. I know we would love for the dating apps to be the places that those men all exist, but usually it's not. Usually the men that just want to message you and get something quick and easy go to the dating apps. Unfortunately, just because of how they're structured. Okay. User says, so where do we meet them? You got to step outside of your house. But that's a whole nother story for another day because I know some of you get nervous whenever I say you got to step outside of your house. I know. So we might have to have a whole show just on that. Okay. Right. By the way, if you guys missed any of the points that I talked about so far, or you came late and you want to get some of these points back, they're all available on my YouTube page. If you guys are on TikTok, just type in my name, Tomisin Atobatele, find my YouTube page, go into the live section. I'm live there at the same time as I am on TikTok, so you can just rewind it. Okay, so don't worry if you missed any of the points. Okay. Number one is authenticity. Number two is being intentional while being patient. Number three is living for more than just himself. Now, number four, as I talked about earlier with number three, number four is being inspired by you. See, here's the thing, and I never want you to forget this, okay? Men might tell you that they want things easy, and the easier it is for them, the better it is for them. They don't, okay? What they're actually trying to do is get you to make it easy for them so that they don't have to work for anything. But in reality, they don't end up appreciating you when you make it easy for them. So I say all that to say, men become inspired by the person that you are and how you carry yourself. Because I know it sounds strange, you become, your aspects of your personality and your character become like things that he wishes he had within him. And so in strange ways, you just being you, having self-respect, standing on business, carrying yourself with grace, all that stuff like that inspires him to be a better man. And so because you have self-respect, because you have standards, because you say no to things, because you even say no to him, because you make people face consequences if they cross your boundaries, all of that sets the stage where he feels like in order to be the person and the man that you require in a relationship, he has to meet a certain level, right? Because if he's underneath that level, then he won't be the man that you're looking for anymore. But that also motivates and inspires him to continue pushing. Very similar to how I said he recognizes that he's living for more than just himself. That also ends up inspiring him to be a better man. And so when guys recognize that being in a relationship with you inspires him to become a better man, he feels better about himself. I don't know if you've ever been in a relationship. Some of you on the older side with more relationship experiences might have heard this from someone before. I don't know if you've ever heard, let me know in the chat if you've ever heard this from someone before, where a guy says to you, I love the person that I am with and around you. Or if you've ever said that to someone, I love the person that I am when I'm with you or around you. Now, when people are saying that, what they're really saying is the things that you bring out of me, right, inspires me to be better and do better. So when I look at me, right, when I kind of like look at myself in the mirror when I'm around you, I always end up being a better version of myself around you because of the inspiration or the motivation I feel to be better. And because I end up being better, when I look myself in the mirror and I try to hold myself accountable, I'm so much more proud of who I've been and what I've done and how I've carried myself. So it's almost like in the strangest way, you start to fall in love with the person that you become around that person and with that person because of how much you do in the relationship and how you adjust yourself and try to be better for the relationship, if that makes any sense. And it kind of ties in with living for more than just himself, because when he becomes more selfless and he starts living and having more purpose than just, it being about me, and he becomes more selfless, he becomes inspired to do more, and he starts to love the fact that when he is so inspired by you and inspired by being in this relationship with you and building with you and you become part of his purpose, he loves that he becomes this amazing Superman version of himself that is capable of doing anything. And you almost become like, in the weirdest way, I don't know if any of you have heard the analogy of like a battery in his back, that you actually give him the strength and the power to push through things that he never would have the motivation or the mental toughness to be able to push through if it wasn't for the way that you subconsciously or consciously inspire him and motivate him. I know that this sounds, you're like, damn, really? Like girls do all this for a guy? Yes, 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 yes. Okay. It really is that powerful and that magical in a sense. And how you can do so much for a guy without even lifting a finger, and how a lot of this is focused more on the emotional and the spiritual than anything else. We talk so much about emotions and spirituality here in this show here. Okay, right? Someone says, Yvette says, so how do you inspire him? And I know this is going to sound weird, but the way that you inspire a guy is not by saying more, it's about doing more. Okay, because the way you inspire a guy is by carrying yourself with respect and with grace, not allowing him or anyone else to walk all over you and to be a doormat to people, because he then looks at you and says, you're the type of person I would love to introduce to my mother. You're the type of person I would love for my daughter to be like, right? The way, not only as a woman that you carry yourself, do I respect and, feel like deserves respect, but also just the way you carry yourself as a human being. I aspire to have qualities that you have, right? And as weird as it sounds, the people who are the most disciplined, the people who have self-respect, who stand up for their boundaries, who are clear, who know what they want, who are intentional, who achieve goals, all of those people are the people that others look towards and say, I would love to possess the qualities and abilities that you have. And so as weird as it sounds, just investing into yourself and growing and becoming a better version of yourself can actually inspire men to be a better version of themselves. Because if they look at you and they see someone or think of someone who is less than, or think of someone who doesn't respect themselves, or think of someone who allows everyone to walk all over them, they don't feel inspired to be better. In fact, a lot of times when they think of you as less than and willing to deal with whatever and you get walked all over, they'll actually lower themselves down to your level of expectations. And if you deal with guys who are garbage and you allow people to walk all over you, then they'll lower themselves to garbage and they'll walk all over you because they won't even feel it's necessary to reach certain heights or to be a certain type of guy to get access to you. I know it sounds very strange. But you can do that. And it's not, just said it right. It's not through words of validation, right? You can validate guys through your actions, but it's not going to be through words. And a lot of times, majority of the way that you do that in inspiring a guy is just by becoming a better version of you and investing in you. Because when guys come across you and they meet you and they understand you and how you carry yourself, they say, I can't be with a woman like this if I'm not a man like that. If she's up here and I want to be with her, I got to meet her up here. Vice versa, when they come to you and they want you and they start learning about you and growing with you, if you allow, if you're operating on a frequency down here, the guys that meet you will say, sure, I'll meet you on a frequency down here. In fact, I might even go do you one better and go a little bit more below you. As weird and as strange as that sounds, okay? So, how we talk about, if you want to receive a particular type of energy, you do have to put that energy out into the universe. So if you want a man who's operating on a frequency up here, you got to be already operating on that frequency because those are going to be the type of men you're going to attract, okay? Trini says like attracts like 100%, all right? Right? Salma says that doesn't scare them as they have to be the providers and the manly men. Well, think about it like this. If you're someone who invests in yourself really heavily as a woman, you have your stuff together, you know what you want, you know what you're looking for, you don't settle for less. Who do you think are the only men that are going to be scared of you? The men who know that they're less than what you accept, and the men who know they can't reach the standards of what you accept in your life. The men who know that they have the same standards and hold themselves accountable and are doing all the things that they need to be doing, they're not going to be scared or nervous to be around you. You're not going to scare those men away because they're ready to meet you where you already are. Okay. Why do you think a lot of celebrities get together? Because they understand each other the way they think and they can kind of operate on the same frequency. Not to say that all celebrities are amazing people, because they're not. I just mean they're operating on similar frequencies. So it's easier for them to get into relationships because they have a better understanding of each other and what they're going through. The only type of men you're going to scare away when you invest in yourself heavily are men who are operating on a lower frequency, want to use you, take advantage of you, and want you on that low frequency with them. Okay? They don't want you. Guys who are operating on a low frequency will want you to stay down there and not continue improving. Okay? Guys who are operating on a very high frequency, they will love to see you get better and grow and improve and invest in yourself. Okay? Don't be worried about that. Authenticity, number one. Being intentional while patient, number two. More than himself, number three. And number four was being inspired. And number five is the representation. So amazing. See, here's the thing. I'll actually call this stop pooping time. Okay, I seen Ivy ask that earlier. This is stop pooping time. Oh, and welcome, Cashley. We haven't seen you in a while. This is stop pooping time. This is take your hand out of your pants time. I want you looking in my eyes and paying attention. Okay, we're on number five now. The representation is so important because when a guy knows that you're the one, he knows, right? And one of the things he'll realize is that he loves the way that you represent him. By the way you carry yourself, by the person that you are. And he recognizes that he wants to continue having you represent him and his family and his legacy. I know it sounds really weird and manly and cavemanish when I say legacy, but his legacy and everything he represents, right? Because he knows that you carry yourself with respect. You carry yourself with honor. You carry yourself like you know what you want, and you don't take, you go for what you want. You get things done. You don't allow people to walk all over you. And the way you carry yourself represents the type of person and the type of woman that he wants in his life, that he wants to show and introduce to his mother and his friends and all that good stuff. This is what I'm talking about when a guy that knows you're the one. Are you following me? So here's where the uncomfortable part comes. Okay. And this is number 5. And I saved this for number 5 because I knew this one is going to make some of you uncomfortable. Here's the thing. If there is a misalignment between how you want to be seen by guys and what you're outwardly representing based on the places that you go, the way you act, the people that you hang out with, whatever it may be, there needs to be an adjustment made if you want to see the way that men approach you be different. I don't want to yell at you. I don't want to be mean to you. But I do want you to understand, if you want men to come across you and say, I love the way you represent yourself, and I want you to represent me and our family as well. Not that all men are perfect, but I just want you to understand, if you want those high value men to be saying that about you, then you also have to look in the mirror and ask yourself the honest question. Is the way that I'm outwardly representing myself in alignment with how I want those men to be receiving me emotionally and spiritually? I know it's not all about what men think of you and this and that and all that other stuff, but I do want you to understand that there is a science and a strategy to understanding the way you're outwardly projecting. Because the reality of it is, the way you're outwardly projecting will affect how people approach you or don't approach you. It will affect the level of respect they show you. It will affect the level of understanding they show you. It will affect a lot of stuff that you're not even realizing. And so if you have a lot of misalignment there, you're going to be very confused why guys approach you very differently than you would like to be approached. Because you're thinking in your mind, I'm the one. I'm the one you should be looking for. I'm the one you should respect. I'm the one you should see that you want to represent you and, be a good representation of the type of girl you would want in your life, right? You're thinking that, but then you're not realizing that a lot of the stuff that you're doing or participating in isn't representative of how you want to be seen by those men. It's harder to look within yourself and understand the ways that there's misalignment within you because it's you. It's a lot easier to see that in other people. Okay. That's why I say this part requires a lot of accountability, and not saying that it's all your fault. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to be mean to you, but I do want you to understand there is a science to getting approached the way that you and seen the way that you want to be seen by guys. Okay. Right. Because the reality of it is, there are men that you want, high quality men that will treat you right, be intentional with you and all that good stuff. But the reality of it is, if they're operating on that frequency, then there also has to be an alignment in the frequency that you're already operating on. And like we just mentioned earlier, like attracts like. So if you're not operating on that frequency, but those are the type of men you're trying to attract, there's going to be a lot of misalignment there, and vice versa. Okay. So take note of that. Men recognize when you're representing yourself the way that they would love for they want other people, men, women, family members, friends, they want other people to meet you and to feel like meeting you and getting to know you is a great representation of everything either I stand for or I would love to stand for. Are you following what I'm saying? Okay, right? Nor says, can you give examples? Okay, I'll give you a great example. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, you are someone who, let's say you built a business, okay? And let's say, or let's make it something a little bit more simple that a lot of you guys can understand. Let's say, for the sake of example, you lost 50 pounds, okay? And you went from a little bit overweight. I lost weight, so that's why I'm saying that. So let's say you went from being 50 pounds heavier and you lost 50 pounds and you changed your life around, you changed your eating habits around, and you look so much better now and you carry yourself so much differently and you're in such a better place in your life now, okay? And see, the thing about it is, when we're talking about the representation, when a guy meets you and he learns more about you, the way your mind works and the experiences that you have, he says within himself, right? He's inspired by that, number one, because he's inspired by what you do for yourself and how you carry yourself and the challenges that you've overcome in your own life. And then he also says to himself, this is an internal monologue here, that I would love for her, the representation of who she is as a woman, I want that to represent me as well. So when people see her and meet her and hear her story, I want that to represent everything that I believe in, because I believe in her. I believe in her mindset. I believe in the way that she thinks. I believe in the way that she approaches life. I believe in the way that she carries herself. I believe in that human being. And when people are maybe not around me and don't have the opportunity to meet me, and when they meet her, I want her to be representing the essence of who I want to be and what I want to represent for myself, for my family, for my children. I want her to be that representation. I want her to stand in that everyone knows this is my girl. And when they meet her, they know what I stand for by meeting that woman, that amazing, awesome woman. Okay? Right? It can be such a magical, amazing thing. And I want you to have that, which is why I wanted to explain it to you all so you guys can better understand it a little bit more. Okay? Right? Conifer says, how long does a man need to know someone is the one? See, that process builds over time. Now, the reason I don't like to give you guys, oh, well, that happens in exactly 32 days and 33 seconds is because that process is going to be drastically different depending on the frequency you guys are seeing each other, how much time you're spending together, and the quality of that time. Because you can go on dinner dates with someone for 3 months, and each dinner date, there's loud music, you're eating food and going home and having small talk. So it's going to be very hard to get to know someone in that time frame. Vice versa, you could be stranded on an island with someone for 1 month straight with nothing to do except have chit chat and get to know each other, and you'll be able to learn each other way much more than you would going on dinner dates with loud music. Okay, I'm giving those extreme examples to just help you understand it's not really about time just passing overall, but it's about like the quality of that time, what goes into that time period, how you guys are spending that time, all those other complex factors, okay? Because I never like to give you guys cookie cutter answers to, yeah, well, in exactly 33 days, a guy's gonna know you that you're the one. That's not how it works. What I will tell you though, is that it builds over time and it will feel natural. It won't feel unnatural, okay? And I'll tell you what's unnatural is him being in love with you in the first 5 minutes or in the first 2 weeks or before he knows your last name or before he even has, has really met you or gotten to know anything about you. If you're hearing a guy describe how much he likes you and loves you and wants to spend the rest of your life with you, and you're thinking in your mind, gee, there is quite a lot you still don't know about me, that is an answer to you that it's probably not the natural pace there, okay? Wow, I want to thank so much to Angela. Angela donated. Let's give a big round of applause to Angela in the YouTube chat who just donated $50 in the YouTube chat. Wow, that's the most generous donation. Thank you, Angela. She didn't even send a super chat message. She just sent a super sticker, sorry. Let's give a big round of applause to Angela who just donated $50 in the YouTube chat. I really appreciate that. I appreciate all your donations there. But thank you, Angela. I believe that actually takes I should have like a chart here. That takes the Players Club record. I'm 100% sure that takes the Players Club record for the most donation in one donation. So congratulations, Angela. I wish I could give you some sort of plaque, but that's amazing. Thank you so much for that donation. I appreciate that. Okay. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Do you guys have any questions about the 5 that we just discussed here today? Okay. So authenticity was number 1. Being intentional is a number, while patient is number 2. More than himself, number 3. Being inspired by you, number 4. And feeling like you are an amazing representation of everything he wants to represent in his life and for his family, number 5. Do you guys have any questions about those 5? Okay. The alien says, will he want to, where did it go? Will he hint at wanting to move in together or just outright saying it? Well, that's something that's going to come with time. And so when he's ready for it, he will bring it up to you. Never be confused or nervous, guys. When guys really want something and they come to that realization, trust me, they know how to come to you with it. And 99.9% of the time, when a guy hasn't come to you to like push the relationship forward or escalate it, it's because that's not really what he wants. Okay. right? Suzuki says, what if they do that and then ghost you? Are you talking about what if they do all the stuff that we mentioned today and then ghost you? Well, then that should tell you that that was not real, okay? And what you were perceiving that as was not real, because someone doesn't do this and then just ghost you, right? If someone actually means this and this is actually real and it's coming from a genuine place, they don't just ghost you, okay? Part of the reason why I tell you guys in a natural progression of things, this doesn't just all happen in one moment. Okay, this doesn't just all happen on the first date. So never get confused by thinking, oh, Tomisin, I'm going to utilize all the stuff you talked about, knowing that she's the one, and I'm going to see if the guy that I'm going on a first date with knows that I'm the one on the first date. That's not how it's supposed to work. And a guy who's trying to make you feel like that is only lying to you, okay? Yvette says, Tomisin, how do you know a guy is in low frequency? Well, so you tell that by asking him a lot of questions. And one of the most important things you need to understand is, where is he at in his life currently? Where does he want to be in his life in the future? And how does he want to get there? Guys who are operating on a low frequency will always have no direction in their life. What I mean by no direction, they will just have, they'll be moving around in life aimlessly. They're in a place where they are not sure where they want to be in the next couple of years, and they're also not sure how they're going to get there. They don't even know what their issues are, the problems that they're suffering from. They don't know how to solve those issues, and they don't have any intention of solving those issues. There's no plan for growth. There's no plan for development, and they don't even intend to grow or develop. See, guys who are operating on a low frequency, they have very little intention of ever changing, getting better, developing, or growing. Guys who are operating on a very high frequency can identify issues in their life, problems in their life, and have paths or want to at least get better and make changes and grow and develop. A lot of guys who are stagnant, not growing in their career, not growing in their life, not growing in their relationships, making the same relationship mistakes over and over again. All of these signs are signs of someone who is stagnant overall in life and operating on a lower frequency, because the lower frequency men will have no intention of growing or making changes or any of the stuff that we discussed, okay? Right? Eclipse says, so it's like they have no vision. Precisely. Because you have to think about it like this. Unless you're one of some of the amazing women who want to be the man in their relationship, assuming you want to be the woman in the feminine energy, your man is going to have to lead you in the relationship. And so if your man has no idea where he wants to go, how he wants to live his life, how he wants to get there, then your man's going to be leading you off of a cliff. And I don't think that any of you want that. So you do need a man with vision. You do need a man with direction, right? You do need a man who understands what he wants, because remember, one of the things you can easily suffer from in a relationship is being a woman where it's not your job to reach out to him and ask for him things and move the relationship forward. So if you're with a man who doesn't know how to pursue the things that he wants and live with intention and direction and purpose, then he's going to find it very difficult to pursue you when he recognizes that he wants you. And so you want to know who ends up getting frustrated when the guy you're dating doesn't know how to progress things forward? You're the one that gets frustrated, because you then feel like it's your responsibility to do everything for him and to progress the relationship forward. Okay? Right? The Soulful Sanctuary says, when a man loves you, he shares his vision with you. I 100% agree. You guys should always be focused on, when you're building with guys, if they have vision, if they have direction. Okay? Right? Anna says, how do you go from seeing each other in bed to serious dating? Unfortunately, you don't. Okay? If you've made that mistake, a lot of times when guys have already, they be honest with you, a lot of guys, when you've already made the mistake of just giving them casual free access to you, they're not going to have that much respect for you. And so there's really going to be close to impossible to transition from that to serious dating, because he's going to say, why am I paying a subscription for something that I was getting for absolutely free? Okay? You were willing to give me yourself for free, for nothing, with no investment. Now you want me to call you my girlfriend? No, thank you. That's just the honest truth. Okay? Right? Does that make sense to you guys so far, right? So with that being said, we're going to hop into a special time. It's not that time. It's a different time. It's a new time, okay? We're going to hop into a new segment here, okay? Where I'm going to be reacting to some amazing, get the headphones out, okay? And we're going to be hopping into a new segment of ours. We had some technical difficulties yesterday. Rest assured today, there will be no technical difficulties. We're going to hop right into it, okay? Where we're going to be discussing some of these amazing videos that are going viral about relationships. And we're going to be discussing them live on the show. And we're going to have a nice nuanced conversation about some of these things. So let's scroll here and we'll go to our first video of the day. Let me make sure that our chat is all up here and things like that. Let's see here. Let me make sure we got our chat up in this thing. Okay. Let's see. We got it. Okay. The YouTube chat. Oh, there we go. Just move this up. There we go. Can you guys see that? Yep. There we go. Oh, I know what I need to do. There it is. There's the chat. There we go. Okay. So we got the chat going. Everything's going. We're all good on sound and everything. I did a lot to figure this out. All right, let's get started with our first video here for you guys, okay? So our first video is actually about sprinkle and the method here. So we're hearing a firsthand story of a girl who took the advice of Shira. And let's see how it worked out for her taking Shira's advice.
I took the sprinkle lady's advice and I instantly regretted it. She recommended if you want to meet wealthy men, you need to go to affluent places wherever the fuck you live and go to the restaurants. But it has to have a bar. And go there between happy hour and before 6 p.m. Okay, cool. So I'm like,
is this what she says?
Shot, you know.
Okay.
I put on like this modest dress, you know, with the blazer, because you never know when life's gonna be like, hey bitch, you need to get a fucking blazer. I even grabbed a book because I was like, well, you know, I'll be present and not on my phone, so like it'll look like I'm actually doing something.
Okay.
And while I'm sitting in the car with my heels on and this modest dress and this blazer, I'm just like,
this is, I don't know, I don't watch this. This is
for. Okay. And I understand that to get a certain kind of man, you have to wear a uniform and you have to play a role. I'm just so sick and tired of playing roles.
The blazer's funny.
See me as a movie, something to watch and experience for a while, but never staying long enough to be part of the credits. I don't dress.
Damn, she's poetic.
Modestly at all. Okay.
Okay.
I dress like Adam Sandler. It's like ripped jeans or a graphic tee. Sometimes I'll bust out the dress. Okay, but it's like no underwear, no bra, and it is the sluttiest cloth. You know.
Oh damn.
I'll make a pilgrim just want to throw a rock at you. You know what I mean?
Damn.
I don't wear heels unless absolutely necessary because like I'm already 6 feet tall. If I wear heels, it's just like. Really?
Okay.
Experience reminded me of this quote that really resonated with me today. Women don't have to be decorations in different places. They don't have to be something pretty for you to look at. And don't get me wrong, I love Shara 7. Okay, her advice has really changed my life. It's just, this time it didn't really work out for me. But that's okay.
Okay, let's discuss here. So I think she said some very interesting things. By the way, guys, I watched like the first 2 seconds of the video and then I just throw it in like if it applies to whatever. So if I think the topic might apply, I just throw it in. I haven't watched this beforehand. So this is honestly my live reaction to seeing this. I think she said some interesting things there and, you know, that I want to address because I want you guys to understand that in everything that we discuss in the relationship realm and how we discuss about what men want and what they think and all that good stuff, you do have to understand that even when we're talking about what they find the most desirable, it's always has to be applied to what works for you. Because the reality of it is, like she mentioned here earlier, right? It just doesn't feel authentic,
shot,
right?
you know?
She thought, oh, I'll give it a shot, right? I'll do the modest dress,
I put on like this modest dress,
right?
the blazer,
And the blazer.
Life's gonna be like, hey, bitch.
Yeah, and and she thought, let me be exactly what Shira advised me to be. Now, of course, yes, Shira is giving you a template on what to do and how to do it, because some people are really confused on how they should go about it, and so they need a step-by-step analysis and breakdown on what to do. But I want you to understand that even Shira's template, or anyone's template, or even my template of how to go about it will be a cookie cutter analysis of what should work for most people. However, you're a unique individual with your own unique set of needs, interests, perspective, and life experience. Meaning, not everything I say or Shira says is going to perfectly apply in that same way. So you have to take the concept of what is being said and figure out how you can do that in a way that is true to you. So for example, for this woman, I think her name on here is Low Key Pros.
Present and not on my phone,
right?
So it's modest, and you have to play me as a movie, part of the credits. I don't dress or act modest.
So she doesn't dress modestly. She says, I like to dress like a tomboy.
No bra,
no underwear, no bra. There you go.
Just want to throw a rock at you. You know what I mean? And I don't work.
That's how she likes to dress. Or sometimes she likes to, just wear graphic tees. And like she said, I like to dress like Adam Sandler. So it's better for her to dress in a way that's authentic to her. And even if she still wants to go to the place that she recommended or whatever it may be, but it's better for her to dress how she feels comfortable dressing. And even in a sense, hang out in places where the type of people with that same aesthetic would hang out. And that would probably be more beneficial to her than trying so hard to be someone else. Because at the end of the day, your attractiveness is also about your confidence. And you're not going to be very confident when you're putting on a character to the point where all you're doing is just trying to be Shira instead of trying to be you. So whether it be my advice, your advice, or any relationship guru, I'm just a regular person, okay? But you should always be thinking about, how do I make this concept or this strategy work for me? Not just be someone else, but like, how do I actually apply that to who I already am and what's already true and authentic to me? Does that make sense to you guys so far? Right? Let's go to the next one here.
Stop being nice. You get no respect as a nice woman. Stop caring. Don't give more than you receive. And stop being clingy. That's the 3 things that I would give you. Are you a good woman? Remember, after you start incorporating those 3 things, you will no longer be considered a good woman. Just saying. You stand up for yourself. You ask for equal. Whatever you put in, you get back. You're no longer going to be considered a nice woman. So that's all I'm saying. This is sad, y'all.
Yeah. So far, that's 100% facts. You sacrifice something by being mean, but you get a lot also by being mean. Let's see what else she says.
Daughter's going to be hoes, if not already. Well, it's better than giving it away for free and being hurt and left with a baby that they can't afford by dusty. I promise you, I'd rather have a hoe than a pick-me. I promise you. Because I know they paid, they smart, and they know how to get what they need to get.
Damn.
Okay. Who you want to brag on your child? Oh, she married a Dusty, got 5 kids, living on Section 8, she paid. She married this gold digger dude. Oh yeah, they got a nice house here and here. Oh yeah, she drives a beautiful car. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She's a hoe.
I think there's a lot of truth to what she said at the beginning there. And don't worry, not all of these clips are going to be Shira's clips. But I actually, honestly, like I tell you guys, you should be mean to guys, because the reality of it is you get nothing from being nice to guys. Really and truthfully, like you get nothing. All you get is to be used and to be unappreciated and to be looked over. And the guys end up chasing after the girls who seem to not want them. It's better for you to be figuring out how you invest in yourself. Now, I'm not sure. It's probably, obviously, this is edited, so someone cut in a question that someone gave her on the live stream about having daughters who are hoes. That's a whole different story for a whole different day. But in terms of being mean to men and getting what you want in terms of respect, you will get that by being mean to men. And honestly, truthfully, all you should be worried about when it comes to guys is respect and fear. Don't worry about anything else, because the reality of it is men will begin to grow the men that are really invested in you. They will like you more for being able to respect you and fear you in the sense that if they don't show up for you how you expect them to show up, you will gladly walk away. Okay? And when they fear you that way, they will approach you a very particular way, and they'll give you a very particular type of treatment. And the girls who get the worst treatment are all the girls who are looking to be liked the most. And all they can think about all day long is, how can I be the most likable? How can I be agreeable, not speak up for myself, allow people to walk all over me, that hopefully everyone will like me and no one will have a problem with me. In reality, when you try so hard to be likable and to keep your mouth shut and not say anything and not stand up for yourself, people will despise you because you have so little self-respect. Unfortunately. Okay, let's go to the next one.
Let's talk about how to be a respectful girl best friend to a guy that's in a relationship.
Oh boy. We're in for a doozy. All right, chat. Buckle up. Let's see what Gia has to say, okay?
Number one, understand
coming from a guy.
You are no longer his girl best friend. His girlfriend is his best friend, and you are not the priority, she is.
You guys know how I feel about girl best friends. Or I should say, let me not even make it just a girl thing. How I feel about opposite gender or sex best friends in people who are in relationships, okay? Not that there's anything wrong with having friends, but this, like just in general, casual friends, but this idea that, hey, I have a girl best friend while my girlfriend is here and I spend every day, or, I spend 3 times a week with my girl best friend and we text and we talk every day, it's inappropriate.
You guys can still be close, but don't just assume that you're the priority and you're his number one girl, because that's not the case anymore.
100,000%.
Number 2, make an effort to befriend the girlfriend right away. This is your opportunity to show respect to the girlfriend. Not to mention, your life is going to be a whole lot easier if you and the girlfriend are on good terms. Number 3,
I would agree with that. If you are going to be the girl best friend, definitely make sure that the girlfriend understands there's no animosity between you two. And a lot of the scariest part of anything is whenever your imagination is allowed to run wild, because your imagination will always build something up to be even worse than reality. So the best thing for you to do if you are the girl best friend is to meet the girl right away and show her that you're a regular girl, you don't have bad intentions, and you guys can even be friends as well.
Don't tolerate or project any sort of flirty behavior. I don't care if you're just being silly or whatever. Do not try to do any sort of flirty behavior with this man, because it's just too far. And if
1,000%. Cut the flirty behavior off. This is the thing that a lot of people can't do when they're best friends. Especially when you're, and I don't want to just make this girls do this, girls do that. This goes for anyone. If you're having a best friendship with someone and you're in a relationship now, you need to be hyper aware and sensitive to the fact that your partner is going to be slightly uncomfortable with this, and this bond that you share with this person that for the most part probably existed before them. So you need to make the extra effort, if you are the best friend, to make sure that there is no sort of misunderstood flirting or misunderstood, I want you, or let's do this together, and things like that. And so that has to be really clear. And sometimes it's the guy's fault, because the guy secretly likes you, she secretly likes you, and he's keeping this best friendship with you because he secretly still wants you and he's waiting for his chance with you.
If he ever tries to flirt with you, you need to shut that shit down right away. Number 4, don't allow him to talk shit about her to you. At the end of the day, you're his close friend, so he's probably going to come to you with some problems, and you can respond in a neutral perspective, but also don't go around having a whole shit talking session about her. That's just fucked up coming from another girl.
I'd agree with that. It's a very weird I'm someone that I also don't advise you to like be telling the wrong people about your relationship. And sometimes, especially when it comes to best friendships, you don't always know what your best friendship, what their real intentions or motives are. And what I mean by that is sometimes your best friend might want you. And when you're telling your best friend about your relationship, you're thinking you're getting advice, but you're actually getting someone who's trying to convince you to end the relationship because they want you.
Number 5, don't cross just like basic boundaries. Don't sleep over, don't borrow his clothes, don't flaunt him all over your social media, don't get all too close to him and up on him. No. Here's the thing, if you truly do consider him like your platonic guy best friend, you should have no problem following these rules because it'll just make all of your guys' lives so much easier. The only girls that actually just kind of like say fuck all and do like everything opposite to this are the girls that are secretly obsessed with this guy and like need to be like the winner of his attention. Just gonna finish up the lashes and lips off camera. Anyways.
So I think what she said there was facts. And so all in all, if you are the girl best friend and you feel like any of this is too much work, or you're like, oh, I'm the girl best friend, I was here before she was, and she needs to be the one reaching out to me. She needs to be. You're probably not in the best friendship that you thought you were. Okay, just saying that, and this also applies for guys as well. And I just say that to say because guys also get this mixed up, and a lot of times as well they keep the girl best friend around because they want the girl best friend, and the girl best friend might not want them, and so they keep it a friendship while they're basically waiting for her to be ready. Okay, don't do that. Don't waste your time doing that either. Okay, let's go to the next one.
Let's talk about 6 ways to make a man fall in love with you. I'm telling you, if you guys master this shit, you're gonna have any guy you want. No.
Okay, I am man. She said 6 ways to make a man fall in love with you. Let's see if Gia knows what she's talking about.
Number 1 is hygiene. This is so important. I cannot stress it enough. The first thing anybody notices about anyone is their hygiene, how they smell, how their breath smells. It matters. Shower, make sure your hair is clean, make sure your armpits have deodorant, make sure your breath smells good. I have like 10 videos on hygiene, so go look at them.
I mean, yeah, good hygiene is always good, and guys obviously do enjoy good hygiene. I don't know any human being who would not like a good hygiene, so yeah, that's
You
fine.
could legit be your man's dream girl, but if you smell bad, he's not going for you. I'm telling you. Number 2 is knowing your worth. Also, everyone always comments about the shade match. This is a Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter in the shade 4.5 medium. So in terms of knowing your worth, respect yourself, have standards. Don't let him be playing any games with you. You always want to be standing up for yourself, and you want to show him that you deserve the best. Number 3.
Facts. What do I tell you guys all the time? Don't let guys feel like they can take advantage of you. Honestly, it's only going to make it harder for him to want you and want to build a relationship with you if he feels like he can easily take advantage of you. Do not allow that. In fact, if you want a guy to like you, please make sure you have even more than your regular amount of self-respect and even more than your regular amount of boundaries. And you're willing to say no to even more things because it'll only make him respect you more. And the guys who have a problem with you having self-respect and setting boundaries are the guys who are just trying to use you anyways.
3, protect your energy. Your aura and the energy you give off is what determines whether people like you or not. So you need to protect this at all costs by staying active, being healthy, keeping your friend group small and close. Your aura is constantly being exuded onto other people, so you always want to make sure that it is top tier.
Yeah, actually, that's facts. And I talk about aura and energy in the show as well. And because you have to understand, and this is actually why it goes back to earlier when we were just talking about Shira and how Shira was, this girl was saying that Shira's advice didn't work for her because she felt weird dressing up in a blazer and all this weird stuff, and that's not her vibe. That's part of your aura and your energy that you give off. See, when you're wearing something or you're dressing in a way that doesn't feel natural to you because you feel like, oh, this is the thing that all the guys want, you're going to end up having a different type of energy that you project outwardly because you're not going to be confident within yourself. You're not going to be confident in you because you don't feel like that girl. You don't feel like the it girl. And even if you look in the mirror and you think you look good, you just don't feel like you're you. You understand what I'm saying? And all of that affects the energy that you put out and affects how other people begin to receive you. You understand what I'm saying? And when it comes to confidence and aura and energy, I know that all those terms sound really vague, but those are more things that you feel from people than you can see. But you know when it's off and when it's on. You know when meeting someone, if you're meeting someone who's confident, right, within themselves and has confidence versus someone who's like really insecure and scared and nervous. And so as a woman, when you're going on dates and meeting guys, you don't want to be giving off that insecure, scared energy.
Number 4 is confidence. This kind of falls into number
What I
2,
just
but
said.
confidence is so sexy. You can build confidence by working on yourself, by going to the gym, working on your career, just kind of leveling up and making you the best version of yourself. And if you don't have it, fake it, because men won't know the difference anyways. The thing is, men are intimidated by women that are confident, and that is a big turn on to them. Number 5, actively listen when he speaks. Good listeners are actually hard to come by, so if you actively are showing that you're listening, it's gonna make him feel heard and want you. And number 6, don't be
Yeah, I like that because I always talk about listening. I know some of you get upset because you're like, but Tomisin, I want to yap. When is it my turn to yap? I want to be the one to talk. I want to be the one to share. You will get your time to share and your time to yap. I just want you to understand you don't need to be yapping with everyone because not every guy that you meet or go out on a date with is really here to be fully invested in you and build this relationship with you. So don't be spending all your time yapping that you never spend any time, listening because you just want to feel good. Listening is always the most powerful thing you can do. You're receiving information, and as you receive information, you better understand the guy that you're talking to. When you better understand him, you're able to analyze the situation and not make mistakes and let him jackrabbit himself inside of you for 90 seconds before he's supposed to be. And a lot of good things happen when you listen and gather information. The person with the most information always wins.
Available all the time. A woman that is busy to a man is so attractive. Men literally hate it when women are super clingy. Needs to be fully aware that your time.
Someone said, can someone please tell me who this person is? Her name is Gia on YouTube. For those of you, you guys got to go onto my YouTube because my YouTube, I always like to credit creators. I just couldn't do it in the vertical version. But on YouTube, I have it placed there at and stuff. So if you ever see a video and you're like, oh, I like this creator, I want to see them, they're all available on TikTok. I don't like to shun people of their credit. I just couldn't put it in on the
time is
TikTok
valuable.
video.
Especially don't always be available for the late night booty calls. Let me know if you guys want
Why I tell y'all, don't be available. Don't be easily available. Let guys plan with you 2 to 3 days in advance so that they respect your time and they know that you mean business, that they can't just mess around with you and treat you however they want and pick up the phone and call you to come hang out with you whenever they're ready to come hang out. Because what will end up happening is every single night where he's horned up, he'll just call you up and order you to his house like DoorDash, and he'll never think twice about you when he's not horned up and ready to order you to his house. You'll be like DoorDash Express priority. You'll come in less than 45 minutes and you'll show up hot and ready. Okay? Don't be DoorDash. You will never see any good results from that. Okay? Let's see what else we have here.
Can we normalize wanting?
Oh, this is a good one.
Can we normalize wanting to break up with your partner in a long-term relationship? Rogo's obviously bae. We've been together for over.
Okay, we already started off hot here. Let's see what this is Hannah has to say. Normalize wanting to break up with your partner in a relationship. Okay.
6 years. Look at those little babies.
6
Which means
years.
we've been through a lot of ups and downs. And we actually had a point about 2 years in where we were going through this really rocky period that I did not know if we were going to make it through. One of my good friends is a marriage and family therapist, and she introduced me to this concept of the 5 relationship stages that every couple goes through. And let me tell you, it changed my perspective on relationships.
Okay,
So
let's
first
see.
we've got the honeymoon phase. This usually lasts about the first 6 months, and this shit is euphoric. Like
Okay.
literally your brain releases a chemical compound with dopamine and oxytocin and endorphins and makes you feel euphoria.
Yeah.
It's addicting.
Yeah,
This,
at the very
unfortunately,
beginning, of
can
course.
also make it easy to overlook red flags in a partner.
Yeah.
Between about 6 months to that 2-year mark, we move on to the differences phase, which is where some of that euphoria starts to wear off. Conflict starts to emerge. You start to see your partner as a real person.
You're also supposed to have conflict in a relationship. That's natural because you're two individual human beings with two different perspectives. So you're not supposed to see everything the same way. This is supposed to happen, and you're supposed to be prepared for it because this is your time to set boundaries. This is your time to see what your other partner's fight language is. Love language. There's love language. There's also fight language. How your partner likes to be dealt with when they're upset and how you like to be dealt with when you're upset. And if this is a sustainable kind of a strategy for you guys in the future.
Real person, and people have flaws, and it's tempting at this point to withdraw or fight about things. The third stage, the struggle, is really where I think Rocco and I ran into issues. This happens at about the 2-year relationship mark. This
Okay.
is where deeper seated issues and incompatibilities arise, and it's centered around this idea of like the partnership starting to pull apart, partners becoming resentful of each other for taking away their individuality and wanting to invest more time outside of the partnership rather than into it. And
Yeah, I actually think that's why it's so important that before you go into a relationship, you figure out like who you are and you invest into yourself. I know I say that a lot, but you invest into yourself and you figure out like what is you? Like what is the essence of you? What do you enjoy doing? What do you like spending your time doing outside of a boy? Because when you figure out who you are outside of a boy, it makes it so much easier to go into a relationship, stand your ground, have your self-respect, and not be in fear that if a guy walks away from you, then all of your happiness walks out the door with him. Right? And the thing about it is, much like aura and energy, guys can feel that because they can feel that if they walked into your life and they brought the happiness into your life, they also subconsciously know that there's always a threat that if they walk away, they walk out of your life with all of their happiness all of your happiness in their hands. And so that's a lot of power. And a lot of times when guys recognize that, they'll begin to abuse that power.
this is a common breakup point for couples, but you can get through it with communication, with intentional conflict resolution, and with like really intentionally showing affection. And then comes the repair stage. This usually evolves between that 2 to 5 year mark and is the decision point that couples have to come to after going through all that struggle. You know, they probably feel drained and resentful about the relationship and need to commit to each other if they want to continue onwards. They both have to put in the effort to grow individually and grow together. And
Yeah. I like
my
that.
favorite stage is enduring love. This commonly kicks in at about 5 years. I mean, it's really kind of marks the breakthrough of the repair stage. At this point, you've really chosen each other. You've grown together. You've learned how to communicate, and you get this really strong sense of support from your partner to support you in your individuality. You almost, in a way, re-enter the honeymoon phase. You start to play together again, and it really feels like falling in love again. Can we
So I think obviously the beginning of the video was pretty shocking when she said normalize wanting to break up with your partner. But I definitely do think there's a lot of truth to that in the sense that like you kind of go full circle, and there is like a period of you almost have to work through in this thing kind of circle that she gave. You have to like work through patches in order to get to this I call it like a homeostasis state, where things like are just flowing and you understand the person, you know how they respond to things, and you can almost like predict their behavior. It's funny that she's making it like this. And I always talk to you guys about learning the person that you're dating, because this is really what she's talking about, is learning the other person while they're learning you as well. And by the time you come back into this, she called it honeymoon state. when you come back into the honeymoon state, this is happening because you spent all this other time learning the other person. You learn them, you understand them better, you see their perspective, and you're almost like you're so you can never fully be someone, but you're so close to being able to like really think how they think, and part of your brain becomes dedicated to knowing exactly how they see the world, how they understand things, and how they receive information. So when you return back to your honeymoon phase after going through this circle here, you're very good at predicting your partner's behavior, predicting how they respond and react to things, and like you know what to expect from them. You don't expect anything less and anything more. You know exactly where you stand and how things progress in your relationship, and you know if you do A, your partner's going to do B. If your partner does B, you're going to respond like A, and they know that about you as well, which is why you guys take like kind of like a full circle thing. Okay. Jamara says she donates $5 in the YouTube chat. She says, you say step outside, no bars, no clubs, not online. Everyone is focused at the gym. I'm too grown, 40 plus, to chill at the mall all day. So where? Okay, that's a great question, Jamara. One of the things I advise all you guys to do, for you guys that have no idea on what you want to do, is go onto TikTok and literally type in things to do in my city, okay? And when you go on TikTok and you type in things to do in my city, you're going to see a whole bunch of videos populate of amazing things to do. In fact, here, let's see here. Do we have any
Research
more?
shows that what men do in a
So let's actually even take a second here. Since the beautiful, amazing Jamara asked the question, let's go over into search bar and let's type in things to do in the city that I live, Toronto. So that since we're already here on TikTok, and I can just show you guys exactly what I mean. I know this won't be perfect, but I just want to show you guys the essence of what I'm discussing here so that you guys can understand. So I type in things to do in Toronto and look what comes up.
Top 4 things to do in Toronto. Check out the CN Tower, where you can buy tickets to top restaurant with amazing views and delicious cocktails for shopping, restaurants, and things to do.
So obviously these were restaurants. So I'm going to show you how you should look for better things to do than just restaurants and clubs, because you're not going to be going to restaurants and clubs. Let me show you something better.
Here's a roundup of all the cool spots I checked out in Toronto last month that you'll probably want to save if you're visiting Toronto soon. Starting off with Arcadia Earth, it's a multi-sensory experience that just opened up at Toronto.
I've actually been there. So this is like a little place where you go and you explore this whole bunch of different scenery, and it's supposed to be like a sensory and a visual experience, like a visual museum almost. Where is this?
Location. The ROM is free every third Tuesday of the month.
This is a restaurant here. Okay, let's see. Hotel Arcade, right? We can skip ahead here. This is food. But there's lots of people, right, that will show you and populate for you a whole bunch of stuff that you can do that is not just going to the club. Look at this right here, okay? So this is someone going for water skis, okay?
A water bike.
Right? You go for water skis. Here is another person. This is the Toronto Islands. Like, these are the porch, right? These are all things that you can do. So I can even type in date night in Toronto. Now, this is the thing that a lot of people do. And there are some amazing creators that do this for you guys. They'll show you how to go on a date night that is not going to a club or a bar, because they know most people are going to go to club or bars for date nights. So they recommend to you some things that you're able to do that is not going to a club or a bar. So here's an example, okay? Now, I know that these are date nights and this is not necessarily, oh, where should I hang out or what should I do? But I just want to say that you can use this.
This is not your typical date night spot in Toronto. Guaranteed you've never tried anything like this before. Do you follow for more? Okay, so Letterman is basically they'll give you ponchos.
So this is a place, I don't want to play it because of the music, but this is a place where you go and you like do a paint splatter and stuff like that. And, you know, you just get all messy and it's like glow in the dark paint and you have some fun. Okay. Now, I know some of you might be saying, Thompson, I'm way too old to be splattering paint and all that stuff like that. Thompson, that's not where people my age will be hanging out. I understand. I'm just using this as an example so that some of you can understand. On TikTok, you can get a lot of ideas. So you might scroll through and you might get an idea or see something that you're like, oh, I would love to go there. So then what I want you to start doing, okay, this is a perfect one. And I seen this one and I saved this myself.
If you live in Toronto or the GTA, I have the perfect date night for you for Valentine's Day. We went to a perfume making workshop today and it was definitely one table, aprons, and a ton of different scents to smell. So
this place here, you can make perfume, okay? I'll kind of mute her voice here. But you can make perfume here in a perfume shop. So these are things that you can just go with your friend. Like go with your girlfriend to this shop and, you know, do something, have some fun, enjoy yourself. And the thing about it is every time you step outside of your house, you give yourself an opportunity to meet new people. Right? And you never know who you might meet any time that you step outside of your house. So don't be thinking that, oh, I should only go places where I can meet single men who are ready to marry me. Think to yourself, let me go places that I already enjoy, that even if I don't meet a guy there, I'll enjoy myself doing the thing. Then your life will be about enjoying yourself rather than putting so much pressure on yourself to say, every time I step outside of the house, it should be to meet a new man. Right? And when you take, I promise you, as soon as you take that pressure off of yourself, your life will become so much easier. Okay. All right, guys. With that being said, it is time now. Okay. We had some fun scrolling through TikTok together. We're scrolling through TikTok while on TikTok. It is now that time. Okay. That time in the Discord or in the chat. Can you tell me in the chat what time it is? I want to know in the chat what time it is. We just went through TikTok inception. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Tell me right now in the chat what time it is. I want to know if you know. Don't look at the watch. Don't look at the clock. Don't look at your phone. It got nothing to do with your home, okay? I want to know if you know what time it is, all right? I'm going to tell you if you don't know. And if you're unsure, Beatrix, how'd you do that? How'd you use that emoji? It's like a loading emoji. I like that. Anyways. Discord time. Yeah. All right, guys. Let's hop into the Discord here. And we're going to have some beautiful, amazing, awesome discussion. So many different segments, so little time. We might have to start making the show 3 hours. I'd be on here yipping and yabbering for so long. Okay, let's hop into the Discord here. And for those of you who are unfamiliar and are new here, you might not know what Discord time is. Discord time is essentially where all the amazing members of the Players Club get an opportunity to ask me a question about their relationship, situationship or relationship, and I answer it live on the show. Now, you have multiple ways of sending in your question and getting me to answer it on the show. And you can do that in the first way by sending your question into our free relationship advice section in the Discord, just by going in the link in the bio on TikTok or the link in the description on YouTube. You ask your question in there, make sure you format it the way that the example post is, and I will answer your question on a first come, first serve basis. But keep in mind, if you ask your question today, it's going to take me about 30 days to answer your question because I got to get through hundreds of other questions. And the oldest question is about 30 days old. And I have to answer all of those first before I get to yours. Okay. So it'll take me like a month to get to yours. Now, if you're too impatient to wait that long, that's perfectly fine. You have another option, which is Relationship Advice Premium in our same Discord. And when you access that, you get to skip the line. It's like a VIP pass at a theme park where you don't have to wait because I answer these questions first before I head over into the relationship advice regular section, okay? So you don't have to worry if you're feeling like you didn't get a chance to ask your question here, okay? Let me just make sure that all of these questions have been verified. Okay. Let's see here first. We'll start off with Starshine, okay? So Starshine says, oh, by the way, to donate to Relationship Advice Premium, you just go into the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description. Click where it says Premium Relationship Advice, and you got to donate to the show in order to get access to Relationship Advice Premium, to keep it fair to everyone. And when you donate to the show, you're going to put in your Discord username and the title of your question. That way I know that that's you, and I can verify that you're not just dropping in your question without donating to the show here, okay? So let's start off with Starshine. By the way, guys, I know Starshine donated like this, but I want you guys all to use the link to donate. Not because I don't like you guys, but I have to keep it organized and I have to have structure here so that I can keep track of everything by checking it all in the same place. It becomes very overly complicated when I'm checking all these messages and requests from different sources and trying to link things back to verify them. Please just use the link so that it can be easy, and that way I don't skip your question thinking that you didn't donate, okay? So Starshine starts off by saying, hi, Tomisin, I'm 27, dating a 26-year-old guy since this June. Known each other for about a year, and we've hanged out in mutual friend group pretty often, so we are no strangers for sure. I text or call first, been following all of your advice except for one, had pineapples twice. The first time was in June. The second was in the middle of August. He expressed frustration. He expressed frustration a couple of times over me playing games, for never reaching out first and taking long to reply. Jokingly accused me of being toxic. It's funny, he accused you of being toxic and playing games, but I guess sleeping with you early on was not playing games, right? Convenient. He just wants you to do everything. Sleep with him, do everything for him, text him first. He wants to be the princess. Okay. Our communication has been sporadic and inconsistent. We chat about 3 times per week, very short convos, and went on a total of 6 dates so far. 3 weeks ago, he was playfully acting jealous over chat, saying how he should be the only guy I'm thinking about. I made a mistake by saying that's not fair since we're not even in a relationship. Expecting to provoke and trigger some kind of clarity on where he stands regarding the idea of exclusivity. He replied, "You're right. I can't expect you to be loyal when I'm not giving you anything right now. And I'm not dedicating you 100% of my attention." This is horrible. Okay? This is horrible for multiple reasons, Starshine, because basically what he's just said is, I actually know that even though we slept together, because you guys had pineapples twice, he knows I'm not giving you much. In fact, if what you're saying is a direct quote, he actually said, I'm not giving you anything. So he basically said, I know I just got the ultimate level of investment from you, and I haven't given you anything. You haven't gotten much from me. Horrible, because that means he knows I've been getting what I need for free. Okay? And he knows how little investment he's been putting in. These type of guys are going to be it's going to be very difficult to get this type of guy to now invest in you in terms of committing to you when he already recognizes he's been getting you for nothing. Okay? I have no right to ask you and not meet other people when I made you my number one, when I haven't made you my number one priority. Okay, so now he's really rubbing it in. If you were my priority, I would expect loyalty even before we're in an official relationship. If you are my girlfriend, I will gladly prioritize you, present tense. So these, okay, once again, order of operations. Part of the things you should have talked about or discovered before sleeping with him, not sleeping with him and then trying to organize and understand this afterwards. He then continues to say, but I understand that a woman needs time and attention, which I haven't been providing. So once again, he's actually pointing out to you all the different ways that he hasn't been doing much for you while you've been committing yourself to him. We text so little and only see each other once a month, so I haven't been pushing anything. It is what it is. That is just how our communication naturally flows. I like you and I enjoy your company, but I'm not forcing anything. Basically, he said, I'm not going to do anything hard for this. I only said thank you for the honesty, but felt extremely disappointed and hurt. He literally said I'm not his priority and expressed no issue with the idea of me texting and going out with other people. Since then, 3 weeks have passed, absolutely zero contact, dead silence. He's active on Instagram because he's always views my stories within the first 10 minutes of me uploading them, but doesn't heart them. Guys, you know how I feel about the social media relationship, all right? I get it. You guys care about the hearts on Instagram, but put more emphasis on the real relationship than the hearts on Instagram. Anyways, that's a side point for another day. I was on a seaside trip being extra gorgeous lately. The only contact was yesterday when he hearted one of my TikTok reposts. It was some love poetry, mind you. What should I make of this? How should I interpret his words? Is this what is this what we do now? We're even the TikTok repost heart is we look into the girls. Let me know. I didn't know. Girls, we're looking into the TikTok repost heart now? Yeah, maybe I'm too out of it. I don't know. I didn't even know that was the thing. Okay. What should I make of this now? How should I interpret his words? What is he aiming at with his silence, especially after dropping such a bomb? Prior to this, he had booked a trip for the end of September. We both scheduled days off from work to go to the mountains together. Please also advise, how should I behave when he decides to contact me again? If I should respond at all? Under what circumstances? Thank you so much. So I actually think multiple things are at play, one of which I don't even think you identified here. But so the first thing I think is at play is he's acknowledging to you that I haven't done too much for you. And I really haven't even earned the right of exclusivity because I've done so little for you. You kind of laid it out in the message that he sent to you. Okay. That's not good because you've already slept with him and invested in him to the point where he's saying, despite me not really giving you that much effort, you've clearly shown me that you're invested in this relationship and you're for real about this relationship. That's not a good trade-off, especially when he knows that it's not an equal trade-off there. Now, the second thing that I don't think you might have recognized is when you mentioned the fact that you're going to kind of do whatever you want, what happened here is this is one of those guys that he basically wants you to date him, pursue him. He also wants you to be what I would describe as an ego booster. So when you sleep with him, it's a boost to his ego. When you validate him, it's a boost to his ego. Even when you want to be with him or you want to be loyal and committed to him, it's not really about him wanting to be with you. It's about him wanting to have you as a way to boost his ego. Which is why when he mentioned to you at the very beginning about, you playing games and stuff like that, all of that, right, that talk, I know that talk is to trigger you into thinking that you're required to do more because you're not showing him how serious you are about this relationship. It's a good trick because you start thinking to yourself, maybe I should reach out more, text him more, call him more, be all over him to show him that I'm not playing games. And meanwhile, he does even less for you while you're bending over backwards and forwards, thinking that you're showing him something by doing all that. Okay, you're just playing right into his trap, to be honest with you. Okay, and then the second thing, the other thing about that is you have to understand that when he realized that you weren't going to boost his ego by being like, yeah, I'm totally 100% committed to you despite you doing nothing for me, that's when he kind of sent that long message like, oh yeah, it's not like I do anything for you anyways. Fair trade. I basically shun you and I basically treat you like trash. So I guess if you're not committed to me, it doesn't really matter anyways. Just understand that majority of that message was to make himself feel better about the fact that you not necessarily rejected him, but you rejected the opportunity to boost his ego there by telling him how much you want to be with him and only him, while he recognizes that he's done nothing for you. Because what he wanted to hear was you say how you're going to be so loyal and committed to him, while he recognizes that, yeah, I've done absolutely nothing for you, and look how much you're willing to worship me. When his ego got hurt, he sent the long message to basically say, yeah, I don't even F with you either. So it's good that you don't mess with me and you're not committed to me or loyal to me, because I barely even like you, type of thing, right? And that's why he went so over the top. Now, in terms of what you should do now leading up for the future, I want you to do less than nothing. I know that it's going to sound weird and going to sound toxic, quote unquote, but the reality of it is this is a guy that wants you to do more so that he can do less. And the best way to realize if a guy's really there to build with you is to start doing nothing for him and see if he continues to try to build with you. If he continues to try to reach out to you, text you, go on dates with you, be respectful to you. Don't give him anything. Don't sleep with him. Don't text him. Don't call him. And let's see if the relationship still goes on. Because if he doesn't hit you up, he doesn't message you, he doesn't call you, or he goes on a date with you, and when he realizes he's not going to sleep with you, he stops messaging you and stops calling you altogether, well, then you know why he was really there. And it wasn't to twiddle his thumbs and call each other best friends. Okay, so I hope that makes sense to you there. Let's go on to our next question here, which comes from, let's see here. Our next question comes from Lola Chopsky, okay? So she says, texting question, all right? Lola Chopsky says, hey, Tommy, what is your advice on texting between dates when it's 2 to 3 week gaps past due, I guess I think you meant to say, due to us being busy with our schedules, especially in early stages. I know you say to have save deep talks for in person, but I have that connection, but I worry that connection will fizzle out if there's no communication. Right now, I get how was your week and what are your weekend plans type of text from the guy I'm dating. He shows interest in my life, but how to answer to engage him more. I usually reply with short paragraphs of what I've done, showing I've been busy. He sometimes asks follow-up questions, but I feel conversation doesn't flow on text as in person, of course, or keep communication to a minimum in longer gaps between dates. Of course, I love to phone call, but I feel if I ask for that, I'd be a pick-me-sha. Or it's okay to ask for phone calls and video chats. Guess if he's truly interested, he will suggest that, but not everyone is a phone call person or do nothing. In your experience, do long gaps between dates cause a loss of interest in men? Do you have any tips in general for engaging texting to make flirty or like a mysterious vibe, as I feel my texts are too factual of what I'm doing or when he asks thanks? Okay, so I actually have a perfect answer for you, Lola Chopsky. I want you to stop using like words, like typing words, and start using pictures and videos. So for any of you guys who are trying to think about how to like keep things interesting when you're not together and you're not sure what to do, like Lola, start using pictures and videos to explain what it is you're doing. Because the pictures and videos are so much more impactful, and it allows guys to see that not only do you say you have a life, but they actually are seeing you have a life. So for example, if you are going to a salsa class and you're at the salsa class, take a small short video of the salsa class. Then when he asks you what you did today, you can send him a video of the salsa class, or take a couple of videos, right? If you go to the gym, take a video of your set. If you go to like a work event, take a video of like the setup and or concert or whatever it may be. And actually don't just post that, but like send that directly to him when he's asking you what you've been doing and what you've been going about in your day. It does multiple things. One, it's easier to strike a conversation based on what he sees in the video. And obviously you don't want to be texting like a whole bunch or talking a whole bunch over text, but just to, keep it kind of conversational. And then number two, what it also does is it allows him to see with his eyes and have a visual of the fact that you have a life. Okay. I know that sounds really like, kind of like mean, but what I mean by you have a life is, when guys don't know you, they don't know if you actually spend your time doing a whole bunch of stuff and are busy. So the thing about it is also when you're actually not texting him and you're doing other things and you're not readily available, because he has that visual of like, hey, you go to art classes, or you do painting, or you go on hikes, or you go on these trips and things like that, whatever it may be. He actually understands when you're not texting him that, oh, she's probably doing one of those things that she's shown me before. It's like Snapchat, but for adults, except instead of Snapchatting the side of your face or your dog, you're Snapchatting him like part of your day as it's actively happening. So that on an ongoing basis, he can actually see the fact that you have a life, respect that, and know to himself when she's busy, she's actually busy doing something else. And then also, because you seem more interesting, he's like, oh, actually, I didn't even mention to you, I love going on hikes. Or maybe you guys live in the same city and you're walking a trail that he regularly walks, and he's like, oh my God, you're walking the exact trail that I always take my dog on. I didn't even know that do you take that trail regularly? I'm literally go there every day. And you could be like, I literally take this trail every day at 2 p.m. I love taking this trail. And he's like, oh my God, you want to walk that trail together? That would be so amazing. Like, I'd love to do that with you. I'm always there. Okay. So you never know what you can get when you start doing pictures and videos. Great way to kind of stimulate the conversation, make it a little bit more interesting. Like I said, you're not trying to have a whole deep, long conversation and get to know each other over text. But if you're in a place where you're like, Tomisin, I don't know how to make it a little bit more interesting than just making it seem like I'm super bored or disinterested, send pictures and videos of what you're doing. Now, for those of you who are like, I don't do anything all day, I just sit at home and stare at the TV and watch Netflix and watch you and watch paint dry, start stepping outside of your house. You can listen to me still in your headphones while you go outside and do some stuff, okay? So if you know you don't have no pictures or videos to send because you literally don't do anything in the entire day, now you know what you need to start doing. You need to start working on some stuff and having some busyness and things to do in your life. There is no good life where you just sit at home and stare at the wall all day. That's not no good life. You need to start enjoying yourself, living your life. Even if you have no money, you can still go out and enjoy yourself with no money. It's very possible. Don't be thinking that requires millions of dollars to do that, all right? So I hope that makes sense, Lola Chopsky. Ivy donates $10 in the YouTube chat. She says, hold up, I thought we were supposed to only text for scheduling. I am now confused. Send pics and videos. Okay, so I'll be very clear, Ivy. What I'm saying is, in this particular situation for Lola specifically, what she wants to know is, how can I make this conversation a little bit more interesting than just, being factually answering, hey, I'm doing this at this time, okay? Of course, I only want you guys to be using texting as a scheduling tool because guys easily fall into the trap of just texting you all day with no end goal here. But if you are in a situation where you're like, the texts are so minimal that there's nothing going on except for, hey, what's up? And I'm feeling like there's no way that we can even build off of that, then if this as a last resort, this will also work well for you, okay? So I'm giving you guys options because obviously not every situation will be cookie cutter. So I'm giving you guys options on how to utilize different tools in your tool belt without falling into the trap of just being like, okay, I'm just going to get to know you over text. You don't want to become a textaholic, but you also, if you're in a situation like Lola, if you're looking for alternatives, this can be an alternative that can serve both issues, if that makes any sense, right? Because it's not just about doing one thing all the time in an extreme way. You want to be able to be maneuver like water and massage and work on situations as they need it, right? Get good at analyzing situations. Now, what I will say to that, and I want Ivy and everyone else to hear me in this, some of you are going to try this and you're going to realize he still doesn't ask you out on any dates and nothing comes of that except for just more chit chat. At that point, you have to realize when this isn't working or going anywhere and just stop wasting your time. Okay, this is only to meet the end goal of eventually maybe just keep it a little bit more interesting. A guy like in Lola's case, you're already been dating, so you want to keep it interesting instead of just going cold turkey when you guys aren't speaking or when you guys aren't going out on dates, right? But if you're trying to use this to get a guy to be interested in you to ask you out on the first date, it's probably not going to work the way you want it to work. All right. So that's my response, Ivy. It just, every situation requires a little bit of nuance, and this is a option, right? An option. Nay says, am I too anxious? Nay says, hey, Tomisin, I just recently went on a first date with a guy. I met from Bumble. And it went great. Yeah? So why are you sending me this message? Let's see how great it went. He was assertive and planned everything out. Was really handsome, funny, and we had a great conversation. We share a lot of the same beliefs, and at the end of the dinner date, he wanted to continue talking, so we went on a walk. During this walk, we talked about our faith, and with him being new to the state, I asked him if he found a good church yet. He said he hadn't. I told him mine was nice, and he said I should invite him, so I did. That's funny when someone says, you should invite me. Why don't you just ask to come then? That's funny. This was Wednesday the 4th. At the end of the date, we kissed and it was really sweet and respectful. No grabbing or anything crazy. He told me he had a great time and was looking forward to seeing me Sunday for church. Okay. The rest of the week, I rarely heard from him, and he went completely MIA Saturday, so I wasn't sure if we were still on for the next morning. Wait, I'm confused. So you guys were supposed to go to church together? Why couldn't he just meet you at church? That's beside the point. Let's go on. I texted him and asked if we need a rain check, and he said sure. He apologized for being so busy and asked if he could make it up to me this week. I agreed. So church was the date. Okay. Again, he went MIA for another 2 days, and now it's Wednesday with no plans for the week. I ended up telling him it wasn't going to work since our schedules are conflicting, and he basically just said, okay, take care. Damn. Was I being too anxious? For our first date, he was very quick to plan, and it wasn't last minute. We are both busy with our lives, but I feel like if you are planning to see someone, you can at least make the plan, confirm it, and that's all the communication that's needed. I don't even like a bunch of texting, but leaving me undelivered and confused about when I will see you next especially early on, is annoying. Am I the problem? What should I have done differently? And do you think I should tell him he's still invited to come to church? Okay. Thank you for your message, Nay. Okay. And I want to be very clear with you. This is something that happens a lot more than you guys realize. So don't feel like, Nay, you're a bad person because this happened to you. See, you have to understand, whether you're meeting someone in general, and especially when you're meeting someone on a dating app, even though someone that you're meeting them from the dating app, you don't really have any idea what that person is doing at that time that they're meeting you. What I mean by that is, you might meet a guy thinking in your mind that I'm meeting someone on a dating app, so clearly they should be open and ready to dating, and they should be ready for everything that would come with dating someone and building a relationship with someone. What you don't realize, though, is a lot of times people that you even might meet on a dating app are going through things that you might not even know about. He might have an ex that he's dealing with. He might have a situation that he's still getting over. He might have a family thing, a life thing. See, when you're first meeting someone, you don't really know what they have going on at that very moment. So I know sometimes it feels like, what is wrong with me and what am I doing wrong? But a lot of times it's something that they have going on that you're just unaware of. And as weird as it sounds, it is very, very possible to be dating people even from dating apps that are emotionally unavailable. A majority of people who are emotionally unavailable aren't going to come out and tell you they're emotionally unavailable. They're just going to continue dating you and other people and have those people be frustrated with dating them, not understanding why they're acting the way that they're acting. So I say that to say, Nate, this is probably one of those situations where he was probably, before you even met him, already emotionally unavailable. And in the process of you trying to build a relationship with him because you are emotionally available, you're frustrated because you're like, why are you acting like someone who doesn't even want to be dating? There is a very specific reason, and it's not because of you or because you checked in on him if he was going to church. It's because he's not even in a mind frame to be dating. Because truthfully and honestly, any natural person who's in the mind state to be dating would be either more communicative with you in terms of like the church thing, and also not just be like, okay, yeah, take care afterwards, after you said that the schedules were conflicting, right? Someone who is really serious about you and trying to be intentional with you would actually try to work with you and like figure out how you guys are going to be able to see each other, not just be like, all right, it's whatever. Okay. So that should tell you that there's more to the story than just you, being like needy or whatever. Okay. And that he probably has something already going on with him, and that's prioritizing and occupying his mind frame and his emotional state, which is why he doesn't have any more emotions and emotional space left for you. Right? You'll start to notice that when you meet people with very little emotional bandwidth, I call it, left, that when they meet you and interact with you, it feels very cold and distant, and you're wondering if it's something to do with you, when a lot of times they have less to little to no emotional bandwidth because that's being invested into someone or something else. Okay? Does that make sense to you guys? All right? I hope that makes sense. That was all our premium questions. So I'll do a couple. I think we had one that was really long, so I might only be able to do one of the free ones today because one of them was like real long. Let's see here. Was it this one? Confused Men. Oh no, it wasn't this one. Reddit dating experience. Oh, it was this one by Mixie. So let's do Mixie's. I know this one's. Oh no, this one's not that long. So Mixie says, me and my boyfriend went on a date. He's been my boyfriend for 2 months and it was going well. He took me home at one moment while he was buying some chips and stuff. I had his phone on my hand and accidentally saw the notifications. I promise I wasn't trying to check his phone at all. Chat, do you believe that? Are we going with that story or no? A girl told me that was his best friend from middle school had called him 2 times. So sorry, a girl that he told you was his best friend in middle school called him 2 times. I don't really know most of his friends because our talking stage was only 3 weeks, and hoped a bit. Wait, what? And I hoped a bit fast in the relationship. I think you might say you hopped like a bit fast into the relationship. Wait. So you talked for 3 weeks. Sorry, I just didn't even realize what you said. And then now this is your boyfriend after 3 weeks of talking. Okay. Vibes. Okay. I told him. She called and told him to call her back, I think you meant say, and let me listen to what she had to say, but his response hurt me. He told me she would have asked to hang out and he has been ditching her for a month, but I demanded him to call her, but he was finding reasons not to. Didn't we just talk about girl best friends? He then called her, but wouldn't let me listen. When I saw he was not doing what I said, I just kept walking and left him behind. He was trying to convince me on the way home, but I just didn't speak at all. When I got upstairs, he was spamming my phone with calls and texts, begging and swearing that she was just a friend. Yeah? He was trying to make me feel bad by saying, "Are you really doing this for only a friend?" and whatever, but I wasn't responding. The next day, he texted saying sorry and that he really understood his mistake. I replied, telling him that I didn't care who she was. I just left him on scene when I saw the conversation wasn't going anywhere. I'm actually pretty happy with how you handled this so far. He hasn't texted me for 3 days from now and yesterday. His older brother called me and asked me what happened. His older brother took my side, excuse me, and was really surprised with his actions. He also told me not to worry and just do me. He hasn't texted me yet, but I have a feeling he will at the end of the week when he is free from work, because every time we have an argument, he takes me out to try to talk about it. I just don't know if I should even bother to keep the relationship, or should I break up with him? I love him still. I don't know what to do. I will keep you updated if he texts me. Obviously, this was a while ago, so let's see if there's any update. So update here. It's been a week and he hasn't texted me. Me and his brother talked for a bit 4 days ago about a mutual friend because me and his brother are not on bad terms. And he told me to wait for him for 2 to 3 days when he finishes work. What's going on here? Because he works till 11 p.m. and is tired, so he can't take me out on a proper date. When he gets off of work, he can. Why is his brother telling you all this? Okay. He also told me to wait because he loves me and is sure that he will come to my house to surprise me. This makes me a little bit uncomfortable. I get that his brother's trying to like help the situation, but if that man can't say that out of his own mouth with his chest, this is like why is his brother speaking for him like this? This is just getting strange. Like 4 days. Sorry, you talked for a bit 4 days ago, but like this ongoing conversation with his brother is weird. But he finished work yesterday and hasn't reached out to me. So what should I tell you? If he does reach out and does cute gestures for me, like gift giving or flowers, should I respond, text him back? And how do I decide if it's safe for me to give a relationship another shot? I wish you guys that send in time sensitive questions would just donate to the show and put it in premium, because that way I can answer it timely. If it's time sensitive, guys, please just donate to the show so I can answer it on a timely basis, because there's too many questions. I won't be able to get to yours like in time to give you sped up answer. Or oh, by the way, sorry, I forgot to tell you guys as well. For those of you who want to send me a private question because you're too nervous to have me answer it live on the show, there's also a link in my TikTok and in my bio where you can ask a private question to me. I have a bunch to get to as well. A private question to me, and I answer it to you via your email, and I just send you a voice message via your email. So if you're too scared to ask it over this because you don't want everyone knowing your business, that's fine. You can also just ask it to me. You go to that link in my TikTok or the link in my bio, in my description on YouTube, and click where it says private relationship advice, fill out the form, and then you just donate to the show and you'll be able to ask me a private question and I give you a thorough answer, okay? Yeah, so Mixie, I would say the best thing for you to do is probably let this relationship die. I know it sounds horrible, but truthfully and honestly, with you and the place that you're in, you started dating this guy after 3 weeks of talking to him. So let's just make the assumption that before those 3 weeks, you didn't even know him. So you met him, you talked to him for 3 weeks. Keep in mind, in the timeline of the 3 weeks, it's not like you're seeing him every day of those 3 weeks. So you might see a guy twice a week for 3 weeks. So the guy that you're now dating, let's say hypothetically you saw him twice a week for 3 weeks. You've seen him now 6 times. 6 times you've seen this guy. Even if you say you saw him 3 times a week for those 3 weeks, you've seen him 9 times. And now this is your boyfriend. It's just not, you're always going to struggle because there's a natural flow to the timeline and escalation of things. And if you don't really know that guy, you're going to make a guy your boyfriend without having a real understanding of what he's about, how he processes things, how he goes about fighting, how he treats you when he's stressed out. Like I always talk to you guys about the range of emotions that you have to know, go through with someone in order to actually know them for real. There's so many things you got to learn about someone that you really can't do in 3 weeks. Okay. Even if you're seeing them every day, 3 weeks is not enough. You need time to be able to like really know about someone for real. And that was part of the mistake overall. And it's only been 2 months that you guys were dating and you're already having these type of problems because honestly, you don't really even know the guy that you're dating. And so part of the reason this is fizzling out so easily, despite it being your boyfriend, because if you're not speaking to your boyfriend for a week, that's not your boyfriend anymore. Like a week, no text, no call, no nothing. Yeah, you're going on like what is left there. Okay. especially when you guys haven't even built enough for this to be like a week for a deal like this is not good. Is not good. And so I honestly think for you, you probably want to let this relationship just fizzle out because it's probably already going to do that anyways. And I don't want you texting him. I don't want you reaching out to him because there's just nothing to do there. I get it. He tried to apologize at the beginning, but it's already showing signs of very weird behavior because who is the girlfriend and why can't he speak to her when you're around? Remember what we just had an amazing TikTok where someone said, if you want to be a good girl best friend, you better make sure you speak to the girlfriend to make her known that everything's okay and we're not here to do anything sneaky. Yeah, if your guy is trying to not have you hear what he's saying to her, it's because he either knows how he talks to her is inappropriate or how she talks to him is inappropriate. And so he can't be allowing you to hear that conversation. And guys aren't dumb. Okay, guys aren't dumb. So I think you probably just want to let that one fizzle out if it already hasn't. Okay, I know you sent that message a while ago. Let's do one more here. Okay, so we got Star here. Star says, need help figuring out what to do. Okay, let's see if we can help Star here figure out what to do. Star says, hi, Tomisin. I love your channel. I'm a late 30s girl, 36, who has been off and on the dating scene, dating the same person who's 30 for a few years. Whenever I hear on and off, it doesn't make me feel good. It makes me feel nervous. We recently broke up again, but we still have been keeping in contact. No pineapples. As an example, when I was very ill, he brought me groceries and supplements, but overall, he has been increasingly short and sometimes a bit rude. This is intersped with random acts of kindness. Oh, sorry. It's interspersed. I read that wrong. I was like, what is that word? With random acts of kindness. Sorry, I glitched there for a second. Visiting me at my job, sending me a selfie. Very weird hot and cold behavior. I mean, your relationship's been hot and cold. So I had enough and kind of blocked his number for a bit. What do you mean kind of? We still follow each other on IG, so he has a line of communication. Why not block the IG and keep the number? Anyways, obviously he is not getting any pineapples, so I don't really understand the purpose of this behavior. He is not dating anyone else he sees. Should I continue to leave his number blocked and just move on? I still want to be with him, but I don't like being treated rudely, and I want to be pursued and treated with a consistent affection. This has been going on for 2 months. I would prefer to rekindle the relationship because he is the one I want to be with. But I also feel like if you're not going to be consistently kind and respectful, then leave me the F alone and allow me the space to move on. How should I approach this situation? The second part of my question, I'm a little older. Obviously, I work late nights and weekends in hospitality. If you recommend moving on, but no dating apps approaching men, how am I supposed to meet people? I also do not drink or do drugs, so I don't go to bars, etc. Should I commit to taking off a weekend day off for socializing? Where do I find stable, bodacious hunters with my scheduling restrictions? Okay, that last part was funny. But Star, I think honestly, whenever you say you've been in a hot and cold situation, this is a situationship with a guy where, you know, everyone's confused on what's going on. That's already not a good sign. So you're wondering why the guy who you've been in a hot and cold situationship is acting hot and cold. That's because that's what your relationship is. If you don't like that, leave this guy alone and stop. You can't. People are beings of habit. Okay. So if a guy is showing you that with you, he's continuously inconsistent, that is actually the consistency there. Okay. So you need to be identifying that the consistency is the fact that he's inconsistent in hot and cold. Once you notice that pattern of behavior over and over again, you need to understand that that is him, at least him in the version that is dating in with you. And if that's how he's going to treat you and approach this relationship, just wipe your hands clean of him. There's no point trying to figure out why is he doing this? Why is he not doing that? Why is he inconsistent sometimes? He is just that. And you're trying to figure out, how do I turn him not? Stop. What you need to be figuring out is, how do I find the relationship I'm actually looking for? Because clearly this guy is not what you're looking for. Once you've identified that, stop wasting your time trying to get guys who aren't what you're looking for to become what you're looking for. You're not trying to force feed someone to turn into someone different. You're trying to look for the situation that you want in your life, with the type of person that you're looking for. And it doesn't specifically have to be this guy just because you've known him for a while and slept with him for a while. In fact, I'd advise against it, trying to make it this guy, especially because he's shown you to the only habit that he's willing to stick to is being hot and cold and inconsistent. Now, the second part of your question, when you talk about where should I go, like I told someone earlier in the chat, the best place to go whenever you're looking to figure out how to where to meet new people, or how to find new guys, if you're not going to be on dating apps or going to clubs or bars, is to just start stepping outside of your house and doing what you already enjoy doing. Because the worst thing for you to do is to go somewhere with the sole purpose of just meeting a guy. Because if you go there and you don't meet a guy, or you don't talk to boys, or there's no one that you like, you're going to feel like the whole time was wasted. Because all of your energy will be focused on, I got to meet a guy. Which guy is going to come to me? Who's the guy that I'm going to meet today? Right? And you won't be able to enjoy yourself, and you won't even feel like you did anything if you don't meet a guy there. So rather than doing that, what I want you to start doing is figuring out what you enjoy doing and spending your time doing, going there, whether it be by yourself or with a girlfriend, and just spending your time in places that you enjoy spending your time. Then once you figure out how to do that and spend your time in places you enjoy, I guarantee you'll start meeting new people randomly, and you'll be surprised how many random people and numbers you get and interactions you have when you step out of your house and just do things for the sake of enjoying it. One, you'll have a lot better energy, because when you're doing something that you already enjoy doing, you'll be in a better mind state meeting people, because you're like in a happy place. And number two, you'll also end up meeting people that you probably share interests with, because you're going to meet them doing something that you already find interesting. So it won't be very hard to think of something to talk about, or to think of a place to go, or to think of, or to worry about having a connection, because you'll have usually connected over wherever it is that you met that person. Okay. So start by simply doing things that you enjoy at the time frames that work for you. Don't worry about anything else. I promise you, every single magical, amazing love story that you ever heard in your life, where someone says, I randomly went to this place that one day, and that one day it just so happened to be that this person was there that is never there. And so I talked to this person that was never there. And when I walked around the corner, I bumped into your mother, and then we had a conversation, and that was it. But it always actually starts with walking outside of your house. And in the process of leaving your house and taking a step outside and doing something, that's when situations can arise, and that's when you can start meeting people and things can start happening. None of that is going to happen if you sit in your house and watch paint dry. It's also not going to happen if you're only thinking, I'm only going to go places just to meet more men. Okay? Go places because you enjoy it, and I promise you, there's men everywhere. All right? Men everywhere. All right, guys, that's the show for today. I hope you guys got some value from that. Way less technical difficulties, so I'm so happy about that. And by the way, if I didn't answer your question, don't worry. I'm here all the time, and I'm always here to answer your questions. And if you want to skip the line, make sure you go donate to the show. Go into Relationship Advice Premium, donate to the show, send in your Discord username and your title, your question, by going to the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description, and you will be able to get to be able to skip the line, and I'll answer your question live on the show. If you want to ask me a private question, feel free to hit my link in my TikTok bio or the link in the description and ask me a private question. I answer it to you via voice message, and I send it directly to your email if you don't want all your business to be out there as well. Just make sure you fill out that form properly. All right. For those of you who are on TikTok or YouTube and TikTok, and you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is right above my head on the top left side of the screen. It's just Tomisin_Atub, and it's right there on the bottom right. You can follow me and see everything I'm doing on a daily basis. For those of you who are on TikTok and you want to rewatch the show because you came late or you missed some parts, my YouTube page is just my name, Tomisin Atobatele, on the top right corner of the screen. Type it in, go to the live section. When you go to the live section, you'll be able to see this live show and all the live shows I've done since the beginning of time. And the best part is you'll have the YouTube and the TikTok live chat embedded in the video, so you won't miss a moment of conversation, okay? I'm here every Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm going to be here again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You got to figure out what time that is in your time zone. Until we meet again, goodbye for now. Hasta la vista. Adios. Ciao. Sayonara. I can't think of any other ones. Bon voyage. And I'll see you again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I love you. Okay. I love you. We'll be together again soon.